Jay was a man of discipline and warmth, an army officer outside, but at home, a gentle soul who expressed love through the meals he cooked and the quiet care he gave his family. Shreya, his wife, was brilliance wrapped in kindness, a software engineer whose sharp mathematical mind solved problems with ease, yet whose heart felt everything deeply. Their home was always filled with life. Math first, then dinner, Shreya would say, tapping their son's notebook. From the kitchen, Jay would reply cheerfully, "Chef on duty, dinner strategy underway." She'd laugh. "Colonel Chef reporting for duty?" "Yes, ma'am," he'd salute playfully. They were partners in every sense, balancing work, children, chores, dreams. Trust between them wasn't spoken, it was lived. But sometimes, storms don't knock before entering. One day, someone from outside tried to step into Jay's life. When her attempts failed, she chose a darker road. Quietly, subtly, she lingered in the corners of his thoughts like a whisper he couldn't quite silence. "You can't ignore me," she murmured to herself in the shadows. Jay didn't understand what was happening. He only felt distracted, restless. At home, Shreya sensed it before she saw it. "Long day?" she asked gently one evening. "Just training drills," he replied, removing his cap, avoiding her eyes. She studied him. Something felt off. Her instincts spoke, but her trust spoke louder. "You know you can tell me anything, right?" "I know," he said softly. She nodded and chose faith over doubt. Days passed. The warmth in their home slowly cooled. Not all at once, just small changes. "You're changing, Jay," Shreya finally said one night. "I'm just tired." "No," she replied quietly. "You're distant." "You're imagining things," he said more sharply than he meant to. Silence fell. Their sons watched from across the room, sensing tension they couldn't understand. Love was still there, but now it stood behind a wall neither of them had built consciously. Then came the moment of truth. Alone one night, Jay sat in the dark, his thoughts louder than any battlefield. "What have I done?" he whispered. In that stillness, clarity struck him harder than any command he'd ever received. He saw it all, the distance, the silence, the hurt in Shreya's eyes. "I fight enemies outside every day," he said to himself bitterly, "and I didn't see the one inside my own life." Guilt rose in his chest. I hurt the woman who never hurt me. That was the moment he chose his path again. The next evening, he stood before her. "Shreya, I was wrong." She looked up slowly, pain still lingering in her eyes. "Do you know how lonely it feels to stand next to someone you love and still feel alone?" His voice trembled. "Yes, I see it now. I should have trusted you instead of shutting you out. I won't ask you to believe my words. I'll prove it with my actions." Tears welled in her eyes, but she said nothing. And he didn't push. Days turned into weeks. Jay didn't rush her healing. He woke early to make breakfast, helped the boys get ready, brought her tea while she worked, listened when she spoke, really listened. A soldier understood patience. A husband learned devotion. Slowly, the heaviness in Shreya's heart began to lift. One evening, golden sunlight filled the room while their sons laughed and played. "Jay," she said softly. "Yes?" "I was scared. Scared I lost you." He held her hand gently. "You never lost me. I lost my way, but I found it again, and it leads to you." Her voice trembled. "I want to believe again." "Take all the time you need," he said. "I'm not going anywhere." That night felt different, not because everything was perfect again, but because truth stood between them instead of silence. "Promise me something," she whispered. "Anything." "No shadows between us again." He nodded. "I promise. I'll face every battle, inside or outside, with you beside me." Their sons ran into their arms, laughing, unaware of the storm that had passed. Jay and Shreya held them close, and each other. Love returned to them, not as innocence, but as strength. They understood now. Love isn't about never making mistakes, it's about having the courage to face them together. Jay looked at Shreya and smiled softly. She smiled back, and together they said, "We choose each other." Again.